is Shan Marie, and this is Touche. And let's start off by saying Happy Memorial Day, and we're going to celebrate with a bottle of Ivanta Malbec from Argentina, 2018. We have two special guests, and I have the pleasure to get to do my podcast in their home today, which is pretty amazing. So today we have special guest Pearl Oppenheimer, my best friend from school, college, and Martine Aramayo. So come on. Welcome to Touche. It's just a fun time. We're just going to talk about stuff and enjoy a little sip. How are y'all doing today?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's been a fairly productive day for me today.
That's amazing.
My day got a lot better when Shay asked me to be on her podcast, so everything's looking up from here. Also, we went to Aldi, which is the best place on earth, and we made a charcuterie bird.
Hi, Leanne.
Well, hello, world.
Yes. How you doing?
How you doing? We're doing good. It's a beautiful day here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're here in Decatur.
Yeah, Decatur. We always say just Atlanta, but we are in Decatur. Martine is my roommate, and he's also in the film industry.
That's true. That is a correct statement. I am in the film industry. I'm an actor.
I love your personality. It's great.
Leanne, where are you?
I'm in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
she's moving to California.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah, I am from California, and I have office here, and I'm gonna solidify my offices back home, and But over here, we're keeping it very brewski focused.
Yes.
So what are you showing? We're the phone's so far away from us that I can't even tell what you're showing. It looks like a syrup, like a mixing syrup. But what are you drinking?
This is Coors Banquet. This is not your Coors Light that you normally get in Coors. This is Coors Banquet. So, and it's pretty old school. I think these bottles probably date back to like the 40s. Nando Bloom is showing you his sandwich, so I hope you enjoy the visual. I see I'm a little blurry on the camera.
Oh, you know what's so terrible is you said sandwich, and my mind went to the whole cock meat sandwich joke in Harold and Kumar. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
It's so bad.
I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, we're there in jail.
That's some funny too. Wasn't there a movie with like Tom Hanks where they went to like a bachelor party and they served a hot dog at the strip club? That was some bomb times in film cinema. It's a good thing the COVID didn't take me.
I wanted to just take a moment. Didn't you have any family who served the country? I just want to take a moment to honor everyone.
Absolutely. I appreciate you bringing that up. Happy Memorial Day to all of you. I don't know if any of your family had done any service, but if they did, thank you. I definitely want to mention both my grandfathers and my father. My grandfather, Wayne Fitzpatrick, fought in World War II, and he denied his Purple Heart because he felt they were given out like candy. But other than that, he fought for our freedoms, and he was a firm believer in everybody had rights. And then my grandfather, Jack Willis, very beatnik kind of hippie type of dude. He was an army guy because that's what you did in his era. He probably got drafted, probably. And then my dad served in the Navy. He was the resident pot seller for, I believe their ship was called the Puking Dog.
Cool.
Wow.
Sounds great.
That's his claim to fame, dealing pot.
Hi, how fitting.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Yes.
What about you?
I have a couple cousins who served in the Marines, but they're women.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I think that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And
That's fantastic.
I'm always like, I appreciate you for doing that and making our family look cool, because I don't think I can do it.
Did any of you guys know?
Two of my grandfathers were also in the military. My grandfather, Howard Oppenheimer, was in the Army, and my grandfather, Ben Gunn, was in the Air Force. So they were both in
That's
World War
cool.
all long ago.
Oppenheimer is a powerful name.
He did not work on the bomb.
It is.
But no relation at that moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would have been cool.
Oh, I have a cousin who is a Marine as well. And
Oh,
she's
cool.
a woman.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, lady power.
I tried out for the Navy, but I got denied because of a back injury. Bitches.
I forget that they can deny you. what baffles me is like they can draft you, but then like when they draft you, do they care if you're injured?
You can actually be disqualified from your drafting for medical reasons.
Yeah, so like a lot of like draft dodgers would do like not a lot, but it's a thing that would be done like fake a medical injury or something like that, and so you wouldn't get drafted.
Can we just say it's very clear that Shay has not watched Weeds?
Hey, that's actually a good show though.
But he cuts off his big toe to avoid, or loses his big toe and ends up getting kicked out.
Dang.
Yeah. So
You see, I want to. Who comes up with these loopholes? Like, what goes on in their head? They're like, how can I get out of this? I'm gonna stub my toe. Like, how did you?
hey, there is a law in California. You can't drive with flip flops on. So when you can make that make sense, then we'll figure out the rest. I don't think I know how to drive without flip flops.
Well, in California.
Drive in flip flops or without flip flops? What did you say? With flip flops as well?
I don't know what I do without them. Like, I mean, ask Shay, most of my shoe footwear is some sort of derivative of flip flops.
Oh, I thought you said there was a law in California that said you couldn't drive with flip flops on. Not
There
that
is.
you. Oh, okay, you did say that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying I don't know how I could drive without anything other than flip flops or high heels because that's all I drive in.
I see. Now I'm understanding what you said.
But you can drive in high heels, just not flip flops.
No, I can drive in both.
No,
I can't drive in blue shoes.
The law we're talking about here.
Yeah, if you put me in a pair of tennis shoes, I'm going to trip over myself and I'm probably going to get my foot stuck under the gas pedal.
That's exactly what they marketed tennis shoes as originally, I believe. They were like, do you want to trip easily? Wear tennis shoes.
I'm not. You tennis shoes and then you take the first step like every time. You just always like, oh. That is the worst. I hate bringing tennis shoes in.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that problem, but I was just joking. But yeah, of course, yeah.
Look, I know you just met me today, but like, I'm clumsy.
Okay.
Lord, I just choked on that statement.
All right.
My mom used to not let me drive with flip flops on. It was her rule because she was scared that I would put the flip flop underneath the gas and my toe above the gas at the same time. So that's the thought on why you should.
Oh, like you would get stuck and you would try to.
Yeah, it would get stuck underneath.
And you wouldn't be able to pull off the brake.
Yeah.
I mean, logically that makes sense.
I mean, it does. Just like
I mean, it
a
does.
water bottle underneath your driver's side seat, like some people do. And then a water bottle gets stuck and you can't brake.
Has that happened to you?
That has happened to me, but I was able to like pull it while I was driving.
Yeah,
But it's scary.
That's how water bottles were originally marketed. Do you want something to make your driving more dangerous?
Put water bottles at your feet.
You know, I seriously seem to think that your roommate, Pearl, must be a marketing genius.
He was a marketing major, so
I did study advertising, that's true.
I can see that he has got it planned out.
So these are all these things, these are the steps you take to be successful in business. That's it. It's very simple.
Amen.
Ooh, I'm glad I met you. Good one.
you're just around.
Yeah, like,
Coronavirus.
Hey,
my friend's doing a podcast. You want to be in it? I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
I believe, didn't Nando Bloom do something for Cheyenne recently?
Yeah, Nana Bloom. That's her hubby, but he's
Our
here.
Sammy.
He's over near the screen. Show your face. Show your face.
Oh, you're so
Hello?
backlit we can't even see you.
Hi.
But yeah, so he has a brand, a clothing company that he has created called Bordino. So we partnered up together to create Cheyenne Marie and Touche merch. And it's officially live, so like we have merch now that we'll all have.
Oh, that's cool.
Stuff.
What kind of merch?
For being a guest, I'll try to send you all a little gift for.
Oh,
I
that's
think AQ is planning on getting the fanny pack, is my understanding.
The fanny pack.
There's some cool shit on there.
We have socks, of course, t-shirts, and
Shower curtains.
duffel bags.
Bikinis, backpacks, Doc Martens, Chucks.
Wow.
Yeah, And he created all this.
Coffee cups,
I just
tumblers,
said, yeah.
It's really cool.
refrigerator nuggets.
I just have something that I'm going to announce that's special for the Patreon members. For any member that is a VIP member, that means that you do a $25 membership a month and you maintain that membership for 3 months. You will be entered into a monthly contest for a Shea Ann Marie merch gift bag. For every 10 members that join Shea Ann Marie, that gift bag will double. So we're going to go ahead and start it off with some basic merch in there, probably coffee cup, a t-shirt, and, you know, like I said, if we can get that 11th member in the VIP section, then we're going to go ahead and maybe throw in a pair of Converse Shea Ann Marie Touche style shoes. Or we might throw in the travel mug. So remember, you have to be a member of Patreon, Shea Ann Marie, and you need to be a VIP member in order to join that monthly promotion.
Yes, and I will say thank you for that. That's an amazing promotion. And I will say right now we're at 7, so we have 7 fans signed up. So 7 people have like exclusive access. And so if you sign up, and that's like to my, because right now we're on my private Instagram, so it's not my public.
Oh, okay.
So only like my fan club sees the live, and then I
Gotcha.
spend a week editing, and then I release a public on the
Podcast. Oh,
I listen to audio.
So sometimes you get to see stuff you don't get to see otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And so in the public thing is kind of like just snippets of the best moments. So they're not even getting a full when you're watching the video. So it's kind of, it's like our incentive to get you like, come on, let me know what you're talking about.
Get on these marketing tips. Get on.
Yeah.
Get on
Come
these
on,
marketing
right?
tips.
So we can get you on here. It's like, then they're paying, you know?
And remember, it has to be a VIP Patreon member. There are 3 levels of subscription, and that is a monthly subscription. And we'll go ahead and get that promotion probably listed on Patreon for the first of the month for June. And like I said, you have to maintain that VIP subscription for 3 months, and you will be entered to win a monthly merch gift bag.
You are a Patreon VIP member and for at least 3 months, which is still the requirement for the promotion. You are also still listed as executive producer of my album for help.
Yes.
All this money is going towards the career. It doesn't. I'm not like using this money and going out. Like it's all staying together. But yeah, so your support is awesome. Spread the word. Just trying to get people listening. Know what we do. It's just a good time. And my focus is I have CME, which is my artist co-op, and my whole focus is just uplifting our underprivileged communities, giving them opportunities, but also uplifting other artists and just supporting each other, giving us a platform. Because you don't really have a platform unless you kind of make it.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Right.
and I know way too many talented and smart and just different people, and like I just met you now, so like you're in my bubble now.
What? Dang.
What?
See,
Right?
look at how the world works. Connected.
I'm all about it. Like, if there's ever something you want to share, you got good news, something that you think is related to social commentary, entertainment news, I want to hear about it.
That's awesome.
We'll always have
Keep
you
that in
on.
mind. Yeah, thanks.
That was a good thing. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. I want my
Hey,
merch.
I'm proud of you and everything you're accomplishing.
So Berdino, it will be linked to my website by tomorrow.
It's Berdino.myshopify.com, and there will be a link on anything Shea Ann Marie. We have sent the link, so Shay will get that shared everywhere. We'll get it on Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. We'll get it out there.
You have no idea how excited I am. I've never had merch with my face on it before. Much less.
So I'm just saying, if you're going to go out there, because I know a lot of people are moving because of new school years, if you need to get a shower curtain and you're not supporting my girl, then what the hell are you doing in this world?
Really quick, Leanne, you haven't met her, but this is my best friend from 6th grade. She just showed up.
Yay! Welcome! Hey!
Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. So great to
Oh,
see you.
perfect
So
timing.
you can enjoy it. This is like, all we're missing is you. It could have been like the view, you know? Okay.
So what things happened this past week? I mean, I know we had Memorial Day, which we did congratulate all those that serve. What else you got for me?
A lot of stuff has happened, a lot of random stuff. So I wanted to kind of get the like not lit stuff out the way first. Jerry Sloan, the NBA legendary coach for the Utah Jazz, He died at the age of 78 this week due to Parkinson's and dementia, which I'm like, wow, that's so sad.
Rest in peace. Those are terrible diseases.
Dementia is a disease for me that's kind of more new for me, but my grandma has it, and so I'm dealing with her having that right now. It's a little difficult. That's actually why I'm here out of town. That's why we couldn't be together. But I made it into a trip where I could see my other people at once.
So hopefully we'll get to see some amazing, beautiful pictures of your abuela. Maybe you'll share it on your personal Instagram, but maybe even on some on Patreon.
Yeah. Speaking of, I came here on the airport, which I was scared at first because I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. But I'm very blessed. Oklahoma City Airport, Will Rogers, and Atlanta International Airport, and Dallas Airport, they have all done a good job following guidelines. They'll be feeling like with social distancing. But, however, I know there's some other airports that aren't as fortunate right now. Like, there's one in North Carolina where there was pictures of, like, flights being filled up. People, like, 50% of the people don't have masks. Like, when I went on the plane, they wouldn't let you in the airport if you don't have one. So, they're like,
well,
sorry.
Wouldn't 6 feet social distance mean, like, only one person per row?
That's what it's supposed to be, but there were, like, 3 people in a row. At least in my thing, I had my own row. Only one time was it was me and then like 2 seats, like they were on the aisle and I was at the window. But that still was like.
You probably ran to the bathroom and scrubbed down after.
I didn't use the bathroom. I was just like, no, I'm just staying right here. Just. I took my clothes off. As soon as I got
Woo!
put something else on real quick. I was like, no.
But you can leave your hat on.
I have to fly in July, and I was nervous about that. But
just bring your mask and don't touch people. I mean, you don't touch people anyway, but
I touch everyone when I go to the airport.
Yeah, you don't know about
Get it, girl.
Nyya Trone.
Woo, woo.
She says she's shy.
So what do you think? Would you hop on a plane right now, knowing that these motherfuckers are lining up in a row?
Probably.
Ooh. I already told everybody, our trip to California, you are not getting out of the car without a mask. I want the hair pulled back, and you better have gloves.
Oh, all right. Put my hair up. Do my thing. I wore my bonnet on the plane. I was literally like, pageant track queen or whatever.
As probably the fairest person on this panel of ladies, do you guys feel some type of way when you have all these Karens out here complaining they can't get their hair done? Like, do you want to be like, put a fucking wig on and shut the fuck up? Or am I the only one? I'm just wondering.
Have children.
I'm very
We
lucky.
can't get our hair done.
I never get
I mean, I'm over here going like, y'all need to learn a new way of hair.
Right. I agree. I'm like,
What?
that's a first world ass problem.
No, I hear a lot of people talking about getting their nails done, and I'm just like, do your own nails.
Yeah, I did my own nails. You know, they look a little boyish. But I did them all on my lonesome. I gave myself an own pedicure. That was fun.
You know what I did for my feet? I let them
You let them what?
breathe.
Oh. Oh yeah, because you wear sandals all the time.
Well, that and there's no toenail polish. I mean, I'm bored as fuck, so I'm taking like 3 showers a day, so they are clean as a motherfucker. The bottom line is that like, let my body breathe. Maybe my roots can grow out a bit, even though I've been dyeing my hair more now than I have without the pandemic. But you know what I mean? Like, just chill out.
I just never really been material like that. I grew up middle class, so it's not like we didn't have money. But like, my mom was the kind of person that was like, you get your nails done when you have something special.
Yeah, I didn't get my nails
Right.
done until I was 18, and that was like because I had a school event to go to.
Yeah, it was a big deal, like you had a prom or something. Yeah, that's probably.
I remember getting my nails done for my very first wedding. They looked so horrific that I wished I had done Lee press on. And if I would have been a basic bitch and just done Lee press on, and instead of paying a motherfucker to make them look like fucking duckbills, I would have had some good looking nails. So I'm just saying, like, you don't need somebody else to do your nails. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, I hate when I go to the nail salon and you spend like $50. Because I'm like, damn, I could have smoked. Like, that's what I feel.
Hey, Shay,
You said what?
who are you talking about?
No, I was talking about me. I was like, damn, I couldn't.
Can we say Taylor?
That's her daughter. That's all her daughter does. Get her nails done. She's like, I got money. I'm getting my nails done. And I'm like, damn. What did I buy?
She gets the nails that the nail artist asked to take pictures of when they're done.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
I have Darcy Van, a girl we went to college with. She's a nail technician, and she takes it to the next level on everything. She did this Thanos character for Halloween, and she made her nails the Infinity Stones. And it was
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she is really good at that. I forgot.
yeah.
Dang. Tell me why. Because, like this dude. So, with all the like social distancing stuff going on, it broke my heart that there's the possibility that choirs can't meet anymore for possibly the next year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, shit.
The virus, because it's just a huge accountability and it's too expensive to test hundreds of singers every day for a rehearsal. So when I think about that, that breaks my heart. But then our president tweeted not just a few days ago that if the governor of North Carolina, which is the same airport, by the way, that I said had all these issues with the mask, if North Carolina did not say that they can operate at full capacity by August for his Republican convention, that he's going to be forced to move it elsewhere because he wants and demands that his convention be ran at full capacity.
So what you're telling me is that our President Orange Gorilla Man needs to move in with Elon Musk and get the fuck on a ship and go the fuck to outer space. That's what I'm hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You can hold the new baby.
He'll probably breastfeed him on behalf of Grimes, you know. He might enjoy it. He might, be that, those pictures where you see the babies that are trying to take cute photos and the baby like poops or pees everywhere. You're gonna have like a picture of like Elon Musk holding the baby, like projectile peeing, and Donald Trump just down below it, just like.
Oh, did you hear about their baby though? So Elon Musk
What's that?
They're going to change the name a little bit because California law requires that they're not allowed to use numbers because they're only allowed to use the 26 characters in the alphabet. So
Well, son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, right? So then the N, they do the A2, it was A12, right? The N of their name. So instead of the 12, they're doing Roman numerals.
Now, wait a second. Is A a Roman numeral?
A is just the letter A. A represents Grimes' favorite song called Archangel.
Right. No, I get that. But I'm just saying, is A Roman numeral?
No, a Roman numeral are like I. They made the number 12 using I's.
Right. But what I'm asking is there going to be confusion with reading it? Because what if somebody looks at the A and thinks that's the Roman numeral?
Look.
We are talking about people that can't figure out when a red light means stop. Okay? How the fuck are they going to translate English lettering to Roman numerals?
Look. Well, because think about Roman numerals. It's just what? Like X, I, and V's?
V. I feel like there's more. Isn't like T a Roman numeral?
Probably. I think it means like a big ass number. I just don't know which one. It means one of those. Thank you.
I don't know. Just look at the Super Bowl. It'll tell you what the Roman numerals are.
How do you pronounce it? Do you guys actually?
I don't know how to. It's like Ash. The A-E.
It's X Ash.
X Ash.
X Ash A12. But I think the A12 is supposed to be pronounced Archangel.
Archangel.
Somebody told me it was something really simple, but I can't remember what it was. It was like Trey. Or that was like all.
Oh, when it's all put together. See, that's the thing. I'm like, y'all, I don't know. I feel really bad for this person's
Name.
because someone, like, their grandma posted a picture of the baby and said, I love my grandson X. And then someone commented, why don't you just call him X?
Party foul!
I don't know. That's just an unnecessary name. But when you got money and you're famous.
All I know is Kim Kardashian is sitting back in her very bland colored home with her hidden sink, being very grateful to no longer be on the worst child name list.
So my favorite was someone said they should name their baby South.
I don't know. There's like Jesus, Pablo. I don't know. He keeps coming up with random names.
North isn't that bad. Saint isn't
No,
that
but their
bad.
last name is West, so
Northwest.
like Northwest. Why would you name your child North if your last name is West?
Because you're clever.
Marketing.
Well, yeah.
Right. I mean, all I know is there is not another motherfucker out there who could trademark the name Northwest and then probably get compasses in trouble.
Oh, the compasses are gonna get in trouble.
Oh.
So, have you heard of that show Too Hot to Handle on Netflix?
Ooh, one of my faves.
All right, Leanne, can you tell us what that show is? Because Nyya
Okay.
doesn't know.
Too Hot to Handle is on Netflix. It came out right at the beginning of pandemic, and it is literally about some of the hottest people that could submit themselves, because of course they're narcissistic enough. And what they have done is they put them in a private, really sexy resort, and then told them there's no sex contact, there's no kissing, there's no masturbation, none of that. And they had to earn actual connection. The ones that were the biggest, most controversial out of it apparently have announced that they are in talks of getting married as soon as the lockdown lifts in Canada.
Wow. Is that just so they can touch each other?
Yeah.
I do know that since the show aired, they did move in together, broke up, and the male guy moved, and we talked about this previously on the show, moved to Los Angeles. And apparently, I guess he drunk dialed her one night in the middle of the night and asked if he could talk to her dog, that he didn't want to talk to her. And that's what made them get back together.
Maybe him and the dog had a relationship. He was like, man, if you could
You know,
just
love
talk
is
to her,
love.
make this
Love is love. Don't judge.
Right, I get that. Like sometimes there's people that I like know, and I like their dogs better than I like them. You know, that's the thing.
He has to marry her for the dog.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I know he's
Hey.
right over here.
Just because I have a dog that's bigger than me does not mean a damn thing.
What's bigger than her?
She has a dog that's bigger than her. Leanne's a shorty.
Okay, well that's cool. Your dog is bigger than you. We might
The
get
only thing big on Leanne's is her ass.
I mean, if you tried to put me in your pocket, just my ass would stick out. It'd be like a little muffin in your pocket of just ass top.
Oh my god, I wish. Ooh, this is funny. So, really quick, I know you mentioned that you have some good news about your company.
Oh.
Are you trying to put me on blast right now, bitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I totally forgot what you said.
You're such an ass.
Why didn't you tell me what you said?
I'm just in the process of getting Gem by LS, which is the talent manager company that represents Shan Marie, officially listed with Talent Manager Association for the United States.
That's huge.
Well, that's awesome.
She's done management before, and she was in the business a lot in California, though. So more on like the Cali side.
Yeah.
That's like her majority of her experience with is like she loves Cali. She loves Cali. She Cali girl.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
I know nothing about Cali, so I'm learning everything about Cali from Leanne.
Crash course over here.
Yeah, I sing, I act, I do a lot of things.
Okay, cool.
She's a
It's
triple
a triple threat, man.
Nice. So you
Thank
can sing, dance, and act? Is that what the triple threat?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Music direct, teach. I love to direct.
He is stage, music, and film.
Yeah, film is more. I'm getting more into film now. When Pearl graduated, she was like, "I realize theater is not where I want to be. I think I like film." And I was like, I realized I think I like theater. And then the COVID happened. It's like, bitch, you better do film. It's like there's no theater for you
What
Yeah.
film do you think it'll survive COVID versus theater?
because
It's not a matter of,
it's with film than it is with the live show.
yeah, it's not necessarily a matter of survival between the two. It's more just that there will be a bigger delay.
Like I talked about this in a couple weeks ago, and like Hollywood does have the funds to provide testing and to even provide housing for your cast when you're recording. So then you limit having to test them every day. Then they're just in contact with the same people.
Yeah.
They never leave,
And so like those are ways they're trying to like get film started right away.
I see what you're saying.
You can technically do that. I see the same with theater where they'll probably have to test all of us, but it's not cheap to house a whole cast of equity actors.
Right.
I feel like there's going to have to be some sort of a partition between audience and stage.
Yeah.
I just applied for this job because I've been looking around because COVID and whatnot. You're just not sure what industries are going to last through this, but I recently applied for this. It's like COVID protection for the film industry. So you would literally have set. It's kind of like locations people would be on set telling you what you can touch while you're there. The COVID protection people will be on set, like telling you whether you're following social distancing and or not, making sure everything is safe.
That's cool.
So I thought that
And
was awesome.
several production companies in Hollywood and surrounding areas are also, I think they're calling it health production or safety and health production is the title on the West Coast that they're using is pretty much the exact same position. And I mean, this has literally created an industry that did not exist prior in the entertainment film industry.
I think Tyler Perry had some article that he was going to start social distancing on his production. What is the term? Where does he have his film studios?
Mm-hmm.
So he has the old military base here in Georgia that he can turn into housing as well. I've been there for like I had to do a little like model thing one time, and so I got to see everything. Like his place is huge, so that it's like where they used to house the military people. So you have all the amenities there that are available to you. So he's like ready for this. It's on.
That's
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because I am hearing production is calling for mandatory quarantines before they start production. In other words, you will put talent in one area and then your crew in another, and they will stay quarantined for a certain amount of time prior to starting production.
Actually, it made me question, like, damn, like, how close were we really before all this? Because I'm like, wow, I never really thought about all this. It's like, why hadn't we done this in the first place? It had to take a pandemic to like really care about how dirty we are towards each other.
Well, of course, I mean, we are a first world country.
We're all giving each other hugs and
Yeah.
every day.
But I mean, we are a first world country, so we have that false sense of security where we forget very easily how dirty we can get. You know what I mean? If you look at some of the lesser privileged communities around the world that have to survive off of eating dirt, we don't have that environment, and it's very hard for us to relate when our daily involvement requires getting Starbucks instead of making our own coffee 7 days a week. You know what I mean? We rely on other people to take on those risks.
Do you think that job, though, that they created, is that put you high risk? Do you think? Or no, because they do everything?
Oh, absolutely. I can only imagine that the pay for that position is going to be more than a talent producer. It's so essential to the production, and without it, it literally could shut down all of production. So that's a lot of money getting invested, you guys.
I want that side job. Let me just be in the room where it happened.
I have a feeling it's going to require some sort of a medical background. Even if it's just CNA or HHA, it's going to require, CPR, just because you need to know safety and sanitation and basic, medical, I would assume.
I don't know. That's a cool thing.
Okay, I read an article that I don't know if you would need a medical background, because I read a lot of article about like how a lot of consulting firms are pivoting and like consulting on like how to bring people back into offices. And so like consulting firm doesn't have healthcare professionals. Like they're just reading the CDC guidelines and telling the company the proper way to do it. They're not like, bro, you can do it, okay? Don't let your non-healthcare background hold you back.
You can say, I'm clean.
Right.
Particular and kind of annoying to people that I live with, so maybe I could do this.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, all I know is there are the Howie Mandels out there that are literally going, oh my God, there's a career job that I could probably do and be so unbelievably happy in life, So, I feel like I'm okay with this. I don't see this being like the future janitor position. I see this being a very responsible continuity type progressive stance.
Sure.
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna get paid that much, like you want it. Like it's gonna be a job taken seriously.
Again, I would
Well, and
compare,
influencers are going to require it.
I was gonna say again, I would compare it most closely to like locations people that when they drive around and they like see everywhere you could possibly film, and then they have to be on set and make sure that you follow the protocol that that person like placed. So like you communicate with whoever owns the house, and they have all of their rules, and you have to make sure everybody's following those rules. So
That's a good point.
the rules.
The rules.
We have breaking news that got announced while we were on air.
What? What is
Cole Sprouse and Lily have announced that they have officially split after 3 years together in their relationship. This is officially been confirmed.
Hallelujah! I get to have it.
If you want to live your own Zach and Cody sweet life, you can do so.
I will say I had a crush on their asses when I was a kid. Did you? Zach? She was quick, Zach.
I was a Zach lady too, and I saw.
I liked Cole when he got older.
Yeah, when he got older, I was here for it, and I think I saw some posts like it showed a picture of Zach from Sweet Life, and it was like, "This is why you like assholes as a grown up."
Okay, so I'm a little overwhelmed with love right now because then my other friend from middle school just walked in the door, and his name is Devasier Swindle. So he's here.
This is like this is Cheyenne Marie, this is your life.
I love performing, and I don't do this for the fame per se, but the more I learn as I get older, I'm like, this world is fucked up. There's a lot of shit that happens.
When producer says make out with that guy, you just make out with that guy.
Yeah, that's shit that I'm like, see, I would be like, nah, bruh, that's not in my contract.
We mentioned that on last week in regards to Harry Styles requesting for consent before touching the model's hair because producers were telling him to touch her hair and he didn't feel that that was his place to do so. And so in return, she asked for permission to kiss him when producers told her to kiss him. Respect begets respect.
Did y'all hear about that shit about Lana Ray?
Oh, what?
Lana Ray tweeted, she was basically like, venting, and don't ever fucking vent on Twitter. If you're famous, do not put your fucking feelings on Twitter. It is a fucking career suicide.
That's a good rule.
Do not do that. Just don't. Even now, I'm not even famous. Whenever I'm pissed the fuck off, I might post a subtweet at the most. But only person that's gonna know that it's about is the person that I'm fucking mad at. But like, the world is gonna just think, oh, she just said the world sucks. So she vented talking about how she felt like she's always being criticized for singing about abuse or maybe not the best relationships. So she was venting about how she's getting criticized for singing about this shit, and then listed other artists how they're getting praised and they get on the charts. They get recognized for singing about their ass, sex, cheating, all this shit. And she went on and listed artists like Beyonce, Doja Cat. There's quite a few more, but those are like the two I'm thinking about off the top of my head.
The biggest one out of those names you just said is
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat is currently #1 on the Billboard charts. That's what I'm saying. In current times, right now, Doja Cat is on the motherfucking top.
Yes.
So let's knock the bitch down.
Say So. It is the Say So remix with Nicki Minaj. That was #1.
It's a TikTok song.
And then #2 was Savage remix with Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion. So there's that.
So she's singing about abuse, but she's also saying, I suck dick and that's why I'm famous.
The juiciest part of the story is, what was Doja doing?
So Lana posted all this shit criticizing them, and then people were calling Lana racist for saying that because she mentioned most of the people of color. She's like, I'm not racist. I was just listing my favorite artists. Then the Bayhive was like, oh, they're your favorite artists? Why don't you follow them? She didn't follow half the people she named who she said were her favorite artists.
As a talent manager, I would have advised her not to.
Not to follow them?
I would have advised her not to follow anybody until it was a reason to make it a marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would you follow people even if you're a favorite artist? Like, I don't follow any of my favorite artists.
Point taken. I genuinely think, I don't know if her intention was necessarily to like bash the women, the artists down. She just spoke way out of line. Like, she just should not have said anything. She spoke with emotion, didn't really say what she meant to say, but she said what she said,
The woman has gone into recovery for heroin addiction. I believe this is the very first album that she has made while not intoxicated. So this woman is going through a level of 12-step program that she may be, you know, like you said, caught up in her feelings. She's trying to get people to relate. She's not trying to bash, but in the process, we put a big old giant highlighter across a #1 artist right now.
Doja Cat. I think it was the Bayhive, to be honest, because they were like, ain't no way fucking Doja Cat's about to beat Beyonce for #1. Let's find some dirt on Doja Cat.
I mean, it could also, it's not necessarily a race thing if, like, all of the famous artists that she's listing are the top artists. So it's like women of color are in the top already. So she may not have been like.
The Bayhive is trying to put Lana down. Lana's fans are like, well, she didn't mean it like that. She's going through shit, let her be. So as a result, now we were like, let's look up Doja Cat. This bitch, a video, y'all, came out of a group chat. It was her and an alt-right group.
Alt-right, white supremacist Zoom group.
There you go. There's Doja Cat on there. She is an African-American woman.
Oh, she's just talking to them?
Why is that bad?
Because apparently she doesn't like being black. That's why. And she went in the group talking about how she would not date a black man, about how the only thing good about her being half black is because she's thick, and she does not like anybody of Negro descent. That's what came out of her mouth.
And then this dumb bitch said that shit.
Repeat the dumb bitch. Say it again.
This dumb bitch said Zoom can be recorded. That video was released, and then someone found old tweets of her calling gay people faggots. I'm not justifying this. And she tried to justify it by saying, I used to use that word. It was a word that we used to say. I never meant any harm by it. I love gay people. It's okay to be gay. I'm like, okay, we'll let you pass with that one. A lot of Doja's fans have now canceled her. She lost 1 million followers overnight.
Mind you, this young lady is not only half black, she is half South African of a very famous South African family. Her father is a movie star, y'all. Okay? Now, let me bring it home a little bit more with the Doja thing. So Doja didn't just get on an alt-right white supremacist group. There is a term that these motherfuckers use. And it's called Didn't Do Nothing. That is the title of a song that Doja did 5 years ago. It's called Didn't Do Nothing. In that song, she slams Sandra Bland and blames the victim for being didn't do nothing black. This is the #1 artist in our motherfucking country influencing our boys and girls on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and now she's on the #1 Billboard charts. I have been listening to Doja since Moo came out. Since Bitch I'm a Cow came out a year and a half ago. I have been listening to her, and I cannot stomach listening to her voice again on my stereo.
How do you think she can bounce back from
Because
this?
people are apathetic and they don't want to give a shit.
No, she rose up so we could tear her down so we can build her back up again. It's the same thing we did to Britney Spears.
How do we listen to Michael Jackson still?
Yeah, seriously, everybody still listens to fucking Michael Jackson.
I'm not gonna lie, I be listening to 6 9 sometimes. That shit be coming on my phone and I don't stop it.
It's hard to admit where the line is between morality and genius.
Wrote songs for a lot of people, so I just stop listening to them too. But the songs that are featuring R. Kelly, I can stop listening to those too.
I can't listen to Gorilla anymore. The Gorilla remix? That shit, and that was my favorite song. He fucked it up for me.
When do we stop punishing people? And the reason why I say this is because I don't know if y'all are aware, because we were online when this got announced. Jimmy Fallon has been called to be canceled is because on SNL we're talking decades ago, he impersonated Chris Rock in full blackface. Is that true blackface, or was that an impersonation?
I don't think you can cancel him for that.
And okay, so here's my question. Is that true blackface or is that impersonation? And with that being said, is that on Jimmy or is that on Lorne Michaels?
There's a whole review process, like a week-long review process for a sketch to get into SNL. Like, it's not Jimmy Fallon who's like, I'm going to go blackface. It's like 20 people that are like, yeah, this is chill. So it's not entirely his fault. I mean, yeah, should he maybe say, no, I don't want to do this? Yeah, but it's also a different time. It was 20 years ago. You shouldn't do blackface then.
Do you consider it blackface when there wasn't a black character on SNL and Chris Rock was the relevant subject at the time? And SNL is known for impersonations?
It's fucked up. Like, I don't think it's right, and I don't think you should have done it.
I feel like if your impersonation is good enough, you shouldn't have to paint your skin.
So what you're saying is that if the impersonation's good enough, then you don't need to go blackface, like you know who it is?
I think so, because come on, like, I've tried fucking around and, like, pretending to be the Kardashians.
Would you be offended if Tiffany Haddish impersonated Lucille Ball with a red wig and white skin?
I hate when people of color dress in whiteface.
What about Dave Chappelle?
What about white chicks?
Oh, okay. Look, I love Dave Chappelle, but when Dave Chappelle does whiteface, that shit makes me uncomfortable. Because I just feel like, look, if you don't want people doing it to you, don't fucking do it.
Here's my question. If we believe that Jimmy Fallon committed blackface and we cancel Jimmy Fallon, we take him off of late night, who do you think should replace the white male, or presumed white, because he's not actually white, in late night television?
Ryan Seacrest.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
As a consumer, I'm so used to watching stuff just on TV, and I forget how much work actually goes into this. How much behind the scenes, even as the person on TV, you forget.
I mean, Jimmy has been working all day long. I was watching a Jonas Brothers interview because, of course, I was. He records these segments right now in quarantine from the beginning of his morning to like the end of the night.
Yeah.
That's how much work he's having to put on this like every single day. So this is a hard gig.
Yeah.
I would love to see Ellen move to the late night special, but I don't think she's gonna give up her gig.
What about Martha Stewart with co-host Snoop Dogg?
Fuck yeah, I'll watch the hell out of that shit. I love me some Snoop Dogg.
Anytime.
The same shock factor that Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg had is the same shock factor I had when I saw Bernie Sanders and Cardi B talking. Because I was like, this is
Amen.
2 different walks of life just talking about equality. And I love it.
Would Cardi have had any influence or networking value to connect with Bernie in that status had she not come up in that raw, organic way that she did?
That kind of gets me thinking. So someone like Cardi B, for some, it's weird to see her talking to Bernie. Because, like, Cardi B, shaking her ass, she's a stripper, she talked about, sucking dick. And then there's Bernie Sanders, who's like, equality for all, no student loans, love everyone. My nigga, like, he was just, friend. And so I'm just like, okay, I see how it works. Now, me, I'm probably one of the most progressive people you could ever meet because, I'm Dominican and Colombian. I'm mixed myself. I love seeing interracial couples. I love seeing all my friends. Look at this room. All my friends are from different cultures, different walks of life. I never saw color, not to sound fucking basic as fuck, but my mom didn't raise me to, like, notice white and black. It was more like, Shay, people are going to treat you different because of how you look. That was how my mom presented the situation. And so I'm pretty progressive. And a lot of people judge you because of it. When you are a progressive person, they think, oh, you might not have standards or your values don't align with mine. And for me, I've been working on building my brand. So, me as Shay. We've been friends since 6th grade. You know my heart. I'll be there for you. All this shit. But Cheyenne Marie, that's my artist brand. That's like a whole different person.
I think that's a great tie into what you were just asking about Cardi B and Bernie coming together because you have to separate the person from the artist, right? So, like, yes. Cardi B as a brand, as a musician, and say all these things and do all these things that sell music, it isn't necessarily who she is. Or it could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be.
Would she have that political platform had she not been Cardi B first?
I'm not familiar with what you guys are talking about. I'm more speaking in general terms. So go ahead.
Do you think Cardi B would have?
I mean, probably not, but, like, I think of Lady Gaga and Madonna and how they had to present themselves, and that has not always been, like, what their true self is. Like, Lady Gaga hasn't gotten to be her true self until, like, I feel like just now in these last few years. As far as the content that she's producing, she's had to be this, like, rock star, but she took that out of Madonna's playbook because Madonna's such an activist, and she just had to be, like, interesting. So I think Cardi B is truly just doing that pop star thing where you have to be interesting for a few years and then everybody actually listens to what you have to say, which may be just a woman thing that you have to deal with, but no.
That's true.
I really appreciate though what Pearl said in regards to Lady Gaga and Madonna, because you have to think back to both of how their careers started. Before they were Lady Gaga, before they were Madonna, they were Stephanie. And even though Madonna, that is her name, she was trying to figure out, she initially started out as punk in New York, you guys. The pop queen icon was a punk artist in the 70s. That's not something that appealed to the masses. She had to conform. We actually had this amazing conversation earlier. How many in this room know Queen Latifah's rap prior to living single? You had to watch Queen Latifah, UNITY, queen of female rights, queen of black activism, literally mute herself and to succumb to the Anglo-Saxon market of Hollywood in order to get a standing to where she is today. This is a woman who has never come out of the closet publicly. Why is that, you guys? We have a society that says you have to create a brand that is appealing to the masses before you can show yourself.
I'm struggling because I personally been fighting Leanne in like, because she's like, but we got to work on this. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. And she's like, Shay, this is not your brand. Remember, it's two different things. When you walk out this fucking door for an audition, you are Shan Marie. You are not Shay. Mm-hmm. Shay is the person out after that audition is done.
Who loves so much and supports her friends. That's Shay.
It's hard to get attention when you don't use sex. I mean, if you look at Amy Schumer, she had to do that before she's like, I mean, she's still all about sex, but she's had to like rely on that a lot in the early parts of her career to get where she is now. Eliza Schlesinger, she's a great comedian, but I mean, a lot of people were like all on board because she was attractive, so she had to utilize that part.
Eliza's a personal friend of mine, and that's something that we actually saw Eliza, got to meet her before.
They're literally besties, like they talk.
Yeah, we are besties. You know, coming from an inside perspective when it comes to Eliza, her comedy, if you watch her Netflix show, is actually more of Eliza than what her stand-up performances are. Her skit show. She is a skit comedian. And from a viewer, I can tell you her skit comedy is horrible. I don't like it. I have no interest in watching it. I've seen it live. I've watched it on Netflix. And that's something she had to recognize. Even though she loves skit comedy, she is a phenomenal stand-up comedian. And she had to focus on stand-up comedian in order to get the masses to appeal to her. And if you don't agree with me, go watch her skit show on Netflix and then come back and tell me otherwise. Just to kind of give you guys perspective, this is how much I know Eliza.
Like they have a picture together.
Wow.
Like, I'm telling you. That was like what? Not even a year ago?
That was about a year and a half ago.
I remember when Leanne went out that night. She tried to invite me, but I couldn't go.
Just tell her Pearl says hello.
Leanne, next time she either goes to Cali or OKC, let me know, and I'm gonna make sure Pearl sees it. Pearl is like comedian queen and like film person, so she loves anything film, TV, or comedy.
That's actually my forte. My forte was improv casting in Hollywood.
Cast Pearl. If you find anything that has to do with improv or film, like, and they need somebody like Pearl, help her.
Yeah,
because Pearl is phenomenal.
There's tons of table reads going on right now because Hollywood's about to start filming in August.
You know, I'd love to.
And you have a place to stay, Pearl.
Oh yeah.
I always said I wanted to make a difference. I never cared if I was like the most well-known person. I never cared if I was #1 on the charts. I just want to make music that people feel. I don't see myself doing anything else. Like I do enjoy serving, but like that shit's dead. And at least this way I can sing, I can continue speaking my fucking voice, and I can look good while doing it.
Right? That's it right there.
For me, that's the dream.
What have you just recently invested in that's going to help you with looking fantastic and fly as fuck?
But I actually invested in a waist trainer. I'm trying to get that Megan Thee Stallion waist.
Oh.
I've always had like a little pooch, like just my whole life, but I never really knew why. But it's also because I lacked proper like posture and training. So just over time, my body just kind of like, it just never really did what it was supposed to do. So like this is kind of a way for you to like be more aware. So I'm gonna try it. Originally, like I said, we started this just for people to get to know who I was, and so I can get used to talking.
Yeah.
But then, as talk more about Leanne, like this is actually something people want to hear and they need to hear. It's just social commentary. You don't get that a lot. You don't get a chance to just like know what's going on in your career.
It's a raw perspective, you know, not just from somebody who's the viewer, but somebody who's in it at the same time or trying to get it.
You have the perspective of the producer, the manager, but also the actor. But I would love, Mark, I would love to have you, like even if it's just later on, it's just you.
Yeah.
Please.
We can talk about you and like what you do, and we can focus on some things in the industry that affects filmmaking and improv and things like that.
Yeah, that sounds
Pearl, I want to have you again. We had Pearl before in the beginning.
I know.
We definitely want to have you again. And Nyya, I love you. Thank you for coming. Dee, thank you. You're a real one.
I want to point out that AQ, the artist, has released the Quarantine Jam. You can find it on all platforms, so make sure you're checking out Quarantine Jams by AQ.
Peter is like my #1 fan. He's my #1 stan.
We love you. Thank you.
We got you, man.
He's a board member, baby. He's a board member.
Yeah, he is. Yes. But thank you so much.
To